views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Now I'm going to go ahead. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, unto the republic
for which it stands, one nation,
under
to God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Anthony Reed,
I'm so sorry. Before you get started, can you just check to make sure that it's recording? Because on my screen I'm not seeing that. Oh, now I see it. Now
okay.
I see it. Okay. Thank
It
you.
said record. Okay, great. Thanks, Denise. Mr. Reed,
Yes, I'm here.
could you open us up with a prayer, please?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, hello, family. All right. So let's get into prayer. Father God, thank you, O Lord, just for today, because today is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad, oh God. We thank you for everyone that's on this call. We thank you for those that want to be on the call but can't. We pray for their strength. We pray for a quick recovery for those that are sick. And we pray for all of those that might be in a bad situation, oh God. I ask you to just strengthen us all, oh Lord, where we need to be strengthened. Give us the strength. Give us the eye to see and the ear to hear, thus saith the Lord, oh God. And may you just bless everyone that's a part of this meeting that had their hand in it, oh God. We thank you, we glorify you, we magnify your holy name.
Okay.
In Jesus' blood and Jesus' play. Amen, amen, amen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amen.
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 Thanks, Anthony. I'm gonna actually post the agenda. I'm gonna see if I could share it. Everyone can see the agenda?
Yeah, John, are you chairing the meeting tonight?
I am. Jerry is gonna be on in a little later. She was at a function, and so she should be probably in about 10-20 minutes.
Okay, thanks, John.
So this is the agenda for this evening. We're gonna have the public gallery session, and then we're gonna hear from our elected officials. And the Bronx Borough President report, the Community Board Vice Chair report, the District Manager report, and the approval of the board minutes. And then the financial report. And then we have committee reports from the Economic Development, the Transportation Committee, and the Parks and Rec. And then we have all business of, we have some old business. And also I don't see elections. We're supposed to have elections on here too. So we're gonna have.
It's on the second page, John.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Come on.
Thanks.
Mhm.
What am I gonna do without Denise Bonds? All right. So I'm gonna actually stop sharing, and we're gonna start Community Speaks.
Oh, okay.
Ted,
You don't have to hold it here. Mm-hmm.
Ted. Each person has 3 minutes. Could you time our community for us? I guess the first person I saw raise her hand is Miss Patterson.
Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's had a blessed day, and please have a blessed summer. And let's pray that our summer will be better this one than it was the last summer. I'm calling about the bus redesign. Anybody who goes to Palm Tree Market on Boston Road, and I can presume almost everybody on this call goes there, they have decided to remove the bus stop in front of Palm Tree Market. What stroke of genius was that? Senior citizens have shopping carts. They get on the bus there. You have women with children, and they have removed, starting tomorrow, that bus stop will be removed. Also, that bus stop is the lead-in from Grace Avenue to East 229th Street to go to the YMCA. What stroke of genius did this? We want that bus stop there. There is no reason to remove the bus stop. If they want to remove a bus stop, let them remove the next one, which is in front of the parking lot of Teddy Nissan cars. Not a major supermarket that everyone uses in our area. My second concern is the bus redesign again that we spoke about in the transportation meeting. I would like to make sure that you all speak to someone about trying to get the 27 bus comes down Allerton Avenue to go to Aldi's, Petco, Home Depot, and Chuck E. Cheese. Those of us that are not driving anymore have no access to that shopping area. And that is very unfortunate for our community. It's a whole segment of the community that we have to take Ubers and cabs to get down there. Besides that, we have a lovely community and let's work to make it even better. You all have a blessed summer. Thank you.
Ms. Patterson, what was the name of that supermarket again on Boston Road?
Palm Tree.
Palm Tree.
You
Okay.
know Palm Tree, John.
Yeah.
Who doesn't shop
I try
at
to
Palm
stay away
Tree?
from there because it looks crazy around.
It used to be L&L Farms.
Right, but
I know what she's talking
it's
about.
been Palm Tree for a while. It's been Palm Tree for about 8 years now, 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Who doesn't shop there? Everybody in the community shops there.
Not me.
Well, I do.
All right, great. I took notes and I'm gonna try to work with Ursula and George and write a letter to DOT about that.
I certainly appreciate that. That's a major store in our area. They must do, I mean, you don't go there. A lot of people don't go there because there's so much traffic. So that's how much business they do.
That's why I don't go there, because of the one entrance and one exit situation.
Exactly. A lot of people, don't do it, but many people do. That's $1 million business in our community. And it's a hardship on the senior citizens and mothers with children that you're going to put them 2 blocks away, uphill to push your stroller and push your shopping cart back to work, to shop in the market. Unacceptable.
Yeah, I get it.
Thank you.
That's what I get.
Anyone next for community? Ms. O'Shaughnessy? Maybe O'Shaughnessy?
O'Shaughnessy is it.
Okay.
Paul, and I apologize for the previous presence of my public-minded cat. I'm a homeowner.
All right, let me get this phone call. I got to call you back. All right.
We're hearing a lot of voices in the background, guys.
Hello?
Ms. O'Shaughnessy?
Yes, thank you. I'm on the call tonight to thank Councilmember Riley's office for the fast work they did on the evening of June 2nd when there was a storm that blew through and caused another round of flooding on Verner Avenue north of the Reed. Councilmember Riley's team got DEP, sanitation DEP.
We could barely hear you, Ms. O'Shaughnessy.
Okay, let me see. Is this any better?
I'm gonna ask everyone, if you're not talking, to please mute yourself, please. Thanks.
Is this better?
Yes, it's better.
Okay, great. I am here to recommend to anyone who has repeated sewer backups in their basement to contact Councilmember Riley's office and the DEP. If you look at the Bronx Times website, there's an article today in which I'm quoted. It took DEP really routing out our sewer line, which had not been touched in 38 years. So if you're getting sewer backup, I recommend that you reach out, and your main sewer line on your street may also not have been touched in decades.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Next. Saw someone else. Okay, I see Dr. Burke with his hand raised. Dr. Burke? Is he on?
Yep, I'm here. Hello, everybody. It was Mildred Cisneros was up before me, but I don't know whether or not she wants to say anything before because I want to be the last person in community speak.
Okay.
So I don't know if Mrs. Cisneros wants to go.
Yeah, she has her hand raised.
Actually, yes, thank you. I changed my mind. Thank you for pointing that out. Good evening, all. My name is Mildred, and I live on Paulding Avenue. And about 6 years ago, some neighbors moved into the house, 2 houses down from me. And ever since they came in, they've been selling drugs, playing music. So myself and my neighbors were been suffering for the last 6 years. And I have attended the 47th Precinct Committee meetings. I contact the community officers, and nothing gets done. Does anyone know, like, is there any punishment or any fine for people that play excessively loud music? I mean, does anyone else encounter this? Thank you.
Anyone encounter this situation? Have you?
Yes, hello.
I think we all do it. I think we all do it in the district. It's just a matter of what they're doing about it. I mean, I've heard that they seize.
If I want to speak, what do I do?
I've heard that they seize. They go to people's homes and they seize the loud, the music, the stereo, the sound systems, or whatever. But other than that, I don't hear anything about fines or anything.
Yeah, I've seen them come around during the holidays and actually seize people like 4th of July, whatever.
So I just wonder why these neighbors in particular, nothing has ever been done to them. I mean, they had parties for years. They sell drugs. They don't work. They drive BMWs. They stay home all day. And they're playing music now. If you come on Paulding between 221 and 222, you could hear them playing the music. And nothing has ever happened to them. There's no, I don't know, it's just unjust. It really is.
I know
It's
there's
unjust.
a time where the music can be played. There's a time, but I don't know.
I know, it's just no solution. They continue to act as if they have nothing upstairs in their head.
I mean, that's a policing issue.
I've contacted the precinct. I just text the community officer, and she told me they have 45 minutes to respond. And I told her, okay, so if you get here in 45 minutes and they're playing music, what are you going to do? Nothing gets done. I just don't understand it.
Right now, I mean, I don't think there's nothing that we could do except,
Right.
wait for the police.
I don't know, but can I speak?
Yes, please.
This is Patricia McDowell, and we're having the same thing happening here on Grace Avenue between Hammersley and Burke. There's a family, two-family house across from the Workman's Circle, and every weekend they turn their house into a club.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have brought in porta potties in the backyard, and we've actually called 311 after 11 o'clock because they can play their music up until 11 o'clock. But I guess the police are so busy that they can't do anything about it. But I did call 311 and asked and told them that they are operating an illegal club in the neighborhood. I don't know what can be done. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes, good evening, Mr. John. Good evening, everybody. So I would just suggest a couple things, and I'm not sure how we would be able to get this information to you, but I'm sure that between Ursula, George, Mr. John, and whoever else becomes exec, we will. What I will say is I apologize for that experience. I would also offer that perhaps writing, I know you said you've been to the community precinct, so perhaps it may look better to write one of the positions. So first, sometimes you got to go to the top right. So you write in the mayor's office. They do have a community engagement office. I can definitely send you that information. I would also offer, there's power in numbers. And so if you're able to get maybe some more of your community members or Black members to go with you to the community precinct council, it may help. And I would lastly say, start to keep record, right? I'll think of where you can send your records, but it always helps that you have records to back up what you're saying. I don't doubt that this is your experience, and I do apologize, but I think that we can try to intervene by contacting some people outside of us and higher than our local precinct. I hope that helps.
Okay, thank you. I'll try that.
Probably Councilman Denowitz would like to speak. Probably he has something that he could bring to us about it.
Hello. You hear me and see me. All right, first, don't worry, I'm not driving. I'm in the car, but I'm not driving. Just hello, everyone. If for those of you who don't know me, I'm Council Member Eric Dinowitz. It's a pleasure. I represent part of Wakefield, and I represent Woodlawn. Just about that noise, I will tell you that besides calling my office, I encourage everyone to dial 311 and log a noise complaint. And the reason I suggest that is because whatever records you keep for yourself, the city may not see that. But the city very much should look at data. And when they see a lot of 311 complaints in a particular area, that is something they will look at. It's something that I can even bring up with them to show them that this is an area of serious concern in a particular neighborhood. So I encourage you to call 311 anytime there's those noise complaints. I want to give you a few quick updates. It's been a very, very busy month. First, a couple weeks ago, we passed a budget, which is huge. The way it works is the mayor presents a preliminary budget. We respond, he responds, and we respond back.
Respectfully, I'm sorry. Is everybody done? Are we done with community speaks? I thought some.
Yeah, only person, we're not done. Dr. Burke has to speak. He's the last person. So we could go out with Councilman Denowitz. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll try to be quick. So what we tried to do is prioritize health and safety, and we got a lot of first. So we got more than $1.1 billion in additional funding of our priorities added to the budget. So we got like 90% of the stuff that we wanted in the budget. And so one of the issues that's come up is school funding. And I want to take a little time just to talk in detail about what happened. The council, we got $700 million additional dollars for school funding and for programs in schools like summarizing, tens of millions of dollars for career and technical education, summer youth employment, and more. And with this increase, a lot of our schools are seeing decreases in their projected budgets. And the reason for that is twofold. One, they are projecting, funding is based on enrollment. Now, while schools were losing enrollment over the past years, they were kept afloat by federal funds. Second, the schools are generally seeing projected enrollment that is far less than they expect to get. So with the loss of federal funds and the projection of the DOE makes the projection, schools are seeing in their budgets that they're going to get a lot less money. Tomorrow, we're having a hearing with the Oversight Committee and the Education Committee. I sit on the Education Committee about what's called the Fair Student Funding Formula. This is the formula that determines how much money a school gets based on population. I think the funding formula is flawed for a couple of reasons. I don't want to get too into it because I want to be quick, but one, the baseline funding each school gets is not enough. It doesn't reflect the actual needs of students. The baseline minimum amount of money each school gets is enough for a principal and a secretary, and totally leaves out the fact that kids need things like, teachers and social workers and the arts and gym maybe paraprofessional and special needs, special education services. So that's going to be the hearing tomorrow. And if education schools for your kids, your grandkids, your nieces and nephews is an issue, you should contact my office, and I encourage you to watch the hearing tomorrow. We were able to restore millions of dollars to the sanitation department for twice a day litter basket pickup. We have lot cleaning. We have millions of dollars for rat mitigation and street cleaning. And through my discretionary allocation, I, of course, am going to be putting additional dollars into street cleaning services. So when you call my office and you're like, hey, it's real messy on White Plains Road, I send my team out to clean it up. So I'm going to be putting additional funding into that. Legislative update, I chair the Higher Education Committee. I'm going to be having a hearing on June 30th about anti-Semitism on the college campuses. And I'll also be talking about a resolution about ending legacy admissions, which has a disproportionately negative impact on communities of color whose parents may not have gone to elite universities. I'm currently working on two pieces of legislation that may be of interest to CB12. One would seek to increase the number of speed bumps on our small streets. As we know, cars are speeding down our streets. I'm trying to get the DOT to install more. And the second is allow for the evidence of a DEP complaint through photographic or video recording to be the basis for issuing violations or taking corrective action. Because right now, because very often you have to have the person come there and witness the problem themselves. I'm trying to say, if you have a video of it, a picture that's verifiable, that should be the basis of it. On June 29th at 9, in collaboration with Common Pantry and Assemblymember Dinowitz and Senator Bailey and the Liberty Fellowship Deliverance Ministries at 4331 White Plains Road, we've started the Nourish program, food distribution program for older adults. For initial intake, now this was a bit of an issue last time. For initial intake, the residents have to show a form of ID, that could be state or IDOC, that has a photo and your address. And so once you get this information, each month you can attend the distribution. You have to show your ID each month. But again, you got to bring your photo ID for the pop-up system. It's non-perishable and shelf-stabilized food, along with juice.
Councilman, you lost us.
No, I muted myself. My kids are in the, you guys want to say hi? No, they don't want to say hi. And so I just want to encourage all of you, and no, I'm picking up my kids. So I want to encourage all of you to sign up for my newsletter. It has all the information about events and legislative updates and all the stuff we're doing. And feel free to reach out to my office with any ideas for events or any ideas you have for problems in the neighborhood that you think we can help resolve. I'm also on social media at Eric Dinowitz, NYC. Join the email list, join social media. And that's it. Thank you so much for your time.
Councilmember Dinowitz, I have a quick question for you. And Dr. Burke, it's great to see you. And I'm sorry that I just need 1 second. Councilmember Dinowitz, you mentioned discretionary funding. Are you able to allocate any funding for this board to bring on an urban planner?
That is, I believe, not done through discretionary funding. And I'd have to look into exactly what that looks like. A few years ago, the council gave each board like an extra, like tens of thousands of dollars extra to do community events and hire consultants.
Right, as a consultant.
I'm not sure what the status of that is, whether we're able to, I can look into it about allocating funding for consultants. The discretionary, so let me just explain a little more. A lot of the discretionary dollars has already been done. We have one more round of discretionary funding that's for specific purposes. So for example, cleanup money is one, parks equity money, that's what I use to have like movies in the park. And it's okay, just give me a sec. And things like small business grants and domestic violence and food pantry, they're for specific purposes of discretionary dollars. So we can look into it. We can look into it.
Yeah, that is something that this board
something more specific, that'd be good.
That's definitely something this board would be interested in, getting some sort of support to bring on a consultant urban planner. So if you could look into that for us, we would greatly appreciate that.
And
Question, Barbara Gibson like to ask a question.
Ms. Gibson, hold on one quick. Denise Bonds had a hand raised.
yes,
I think she wanted to ask the councilman a question.
yes. Thank you
yes,
so much.
so yes, I heard you. So yes, just reach out to my office and we'll try to get you a more specific answer than what I just gave.
Okay.
Denise?
Good evening, Councilman. I just had a question in reference to, and thank you for clarifying about the cuts in the school system, because we're concerned with the progress that was made. And, the children are in crisis due to the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
So when you think about the small class size law that was put into effect and now then the cut in the budgets, it seemed like the two things work against each other. So how is that going to play out? I'm not quite understanding that.
So first of all, the small class size bill, I don't think was signed. It was passed by, I'm not sure that was signed by the governor. So that I'd have to double check on that. But it was passed by the Senate and the Assembly. So that's first. Second, I am the lead sponsor or the prime co-sponsor on the city council version of the bill, which really amends the health code law, but will reduce class sizes. And the third is that the Senate and Assembly bill is over a period of time. It's not immediate. But you're absolutely right in that, obviously we need more money to reduce class sizes to hire more teachers. But over the past, I've voted on 2 budgets, and we voted for funding for specific purposes like a social worker in every school. We have tens of millions of dollars for the community school model, where you have like the health clinic in the school and everything. Regarding the class size, I will just say it is something we are still working on, and I hate to give that answer because I want it to be a reality. And look, you probably know by now, I was a teacher, and bar none, the number one variable that determined the success and the quality of a classroom was the class size. I've taught in a class with 36 kids, and I've taught in a class with 12 kids, and and I can tell, and I know from having done it for 14 years that the self-contained class of 12 kids with severe disabilities would often outpace the general education class with 30 some odd kids, because I was able to give them the attention that they deserved and they needed. It is attention that all of our kids deserve. So it is a problem we're still trying to work out.
Right. Because due to the budget cuts, most schools are losing teachers, and not only paraprofessionals, but they also are losing teachers. So it's something
I
that
just
we have
want
to keep our eye on.
So let me just clarify that too, because while we should all be very concerned, I don't want anyone to freak out too much. First of all, no teacher is going to lose employment, and I know that doesn't help allay any fears regarding a teacher losing their position at a school, but they're what's called excessed, which means they join the ATR pool, absent teacher reserve pool. So they maintain their employment, just not at the specific school. However, the numbers get recalculated in October and then again in December. So the budgets are the preliminary budgets that the schools see. They're not the final budgets. I think because again, it's based on enrollment, and that enrollment is updated in October and then in December. So the budgets are going to change.
Thank you.
All right, we have 2 more questions. Where were they? Miss Moore and Miss Gibson. Let's go with Miss Gibson and then Miss Moore right after. Miss Gibson.
Good evening, Councilman. You
Good evening.
did mention that you have funds for rat infestment.
So the city, so there's 2 different sort of funds, and I apologize if they seem conflated. I have discretionary allocation. I had discretionary allocation last year, and I'm going to be negotiating for it this year. I'm on the budget team, so I'm gonna fight for this money, where we hire a nonprofit specifically to go out in District 11. And one of the groups we hire is called ACE, for example. And I love this group because they hire homeless or formerly homeless people, formerly incarcerated people, people who need, support and job, and it provides them with social, a social worker and guidance and all that. And they clean up where, they do regular cleanups, and they go where we tell them to go. So if there's a particular area they go there. DSNY is also helpful with dumping. The rat mitigation program is $4.3 million. That's a citywide program. So that is a program I have less discretion over. But the purpose of that program is for exactly what is rat mitigation. Now, other things that I've done is I'm trying, and I don't know if we got them at White Plains Road yet, but I'm trying to get the rat-proof bins in the business corridor. And I'd have to check if we got them already there, but if they're not there, I can try and get some there, because the current wire baskets are no good. Rats fit through them, but they make the rat-proof ones.
All right, thank you, sir. We have an epidemic in Gun Hill.
On Gun Hill, and so Gun Hill and what?
It's in the project, 3444 White Plains Road.
On White Plains, okay.
3444 White Plains Road, epidemic.
Okay, so I will, I believe the cross street there is Gun Hill, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's Gun Hill and Magenta Street.
Yeah, I believe that's Councilmember Riley's district.
It
so
is.
But since you mentioned Gun Hill Road, my district extends, up to like Webster and a little east of there on Gun Hill, all the way west. And we did get new garbage cans there. Unfortunately, they were the old ones. So I'm going to try to get DSNY. I know it's not exactly the area you're talking about, but like I said, since you mentioned Gun Hill, I might as well tell you, we're trying to get.
I didn't feel like taking a ride. Popeye's a little too far.
What's that? Anyway, garbage cans is something I'm trying to get more of the rat-proof kind, because I know it's an issue. So like I said, if there's a specific location, let me know. And if it's your area, just email the office and we'll forward it to Councilmember Riley, who can take more direct care of it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
John, you don't have access to mute people?
Ms. Moore? Yeah, I was trying to mute that person. I couldn't find who it was.
There's a couple of microphones open. There's a couple open.
Okay, I'm gonna scan again. Ms. Moore, you could go ahead.
Thanks. How are you, Council Member? Thanks for joining us. So I'm concerned. I want to raise awareness of one of the issues that was briefly mentioned that I think we need to spend a little more time discussing, if not here, at another space. Our young people in public school education are suffering, and there is not enough mental health services to address what they're going through. The pandemic has pushed our young people behind in so many ways. Social isolation, anxiety, depression, suicide ideation. These are real things that's going on in our school system. Teachers are dealing with their own trauma, and they don't have necessarily an outlet, and they also are lacking skills. Principals, they don't know what to do with the new SEL mandates and the DESA new assessments that they're required to conduct with students. So there's a lot of things. I don't know if you're visiting schools, but there's a lot going on in the public school system, and I really need to know what is being done to address this, because I hear all these things about one school social worker to a school. That is not a solution. That's touching it, but we have not arrived yet. And so I'm concerned. I am a licensed social worker. I run an agency with over 40 employees and over 30 graduate interns throughout schools in New York City that work with over 10 schools in New York City, including in your district. And it is extremely hard to even get a meeting with your office. And I'm be honest with you, it's disappointing, because we have a duty to the public, we have a duty to our kids, and the fact that this crisis is going on, when are we going to stop and do something about it and not wait for another kid to lose their life? So I'm really at a point where I'm like, what are we going to do? How are we going to come together as a community, you as our one of our representatives, to address what's going on in the schools? You talked about budget cuts for the DOE. I'm not happy with that. And I'm glad that there's a hearing going on tomorrow, but we need to do more. One school social worker to one school is not working, because they don't have enough time to meet with all these students. So we need to help our kids, and I'm really concerned. I want to know, is there a plan, and how can we support my CBO and even our community board? How can we support? What can we do? How can we pull together as a community to support our youth?
So first of all, Ms. Moore, I really love that you brought this up, because was one of the most important things that I saw in the classroom was social emotional learning, was mental health. I want to clarify one thing, that is that the meeting you requested was with the Bronx delegation, not with my office. And so I just want to clarify, if you want to reach out to my office and chat, I'm always available. I think, anyone who's reached out to my office always gets a response. But the Bronx delegation is just a little different than my council office. So I think the challenge is being able to celebrate really hard-fought gains while recognizing that it's not enough. And so the gains that we made last year, social work for every school, you're correct that one for every school is not enough. But before last year, we did not have any of that guarantee. We have millions of dollars more to support current and expand the number of community schools, which have, like mental health counselors on site. For me, it's not enough, but we do have to recognize that was a lot of fighting just to get, that. And it is a chat. It's just because I know what you're saying. It's never good enough until every kid is met where they are at. One of the things that I have personally focused on is reducing our reliance on standardized tests, especially at the high school level. Because, what I say to everyone is I say, if you think about these skills that get us through the pandemic, none of those are tested on our Regents exams. None of those. And so if we start divesting from our high stakes test culture and monetary investment in high stakes tests and start investing more in social emotional learning, I think we'll get closer to where we need to be. I think the DESA was trash. Honestly, it was like $18 million to, and just for everyone who knows, the DESA was a test. It was an assessment. It was a crappy assessment, apparently, made by people who weren't teachers, a social emotional learning intake that the teachers filled out on behalf of the students. And I ask any teacher, I say, what is the school, what has the system done with the results of the DESA? And nobody can answer that. So it was almost like $18 million for the sake of saying they were doing something, but nothing was done with it. And so we have a lot of problems, and we know they need to be addressed. They are not being addressed fully in the proper way, but I promise you we are making great gains in the areas that we need to make. And again, Ms. Moore, I'm happy to sit with you and talk further about how we get to where we need to be. But yes, that's right, Alex. My son's like, he said, we have to take care of our children. One of the things I did a survey, and I know I'm going back to budget a lot, but it is a lot of the work we do is centered on the budget. It was the work of the past few months. And we did a survey of, we did community service, and bar none, mental health was the number one need that people spoke about in the community. And so we specifically funded CVOs and local organizations who applied to help do that mental health work. And by the way, that includes geriatric mental health, that includes health for older adults. Part of that work does, of course, include summer youth employment. It's all connected. So we are working, again, happy to meet with you and anyone to figure out a way forward to make it even better.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Ms. Dickerson, you had a question?
Yes, it really isn't a question. Just briefly, hello, family. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to let you know, if you noticed, that the Education Committee was sent out, that whole agenda and everything, Ms. Moore, so that you can know that on Tuesday we have invited Council Member Dinowitz, and we are very prayerful that he will be there to join us. So we will have, hopefully, an opportunity to discuss all of this that we're talking about right now. Okay?
Great.
Ms. Gibson, may I speak to Ms. Moore?
So let me just pause. I think if that's all the questions, I just want to thank you all so much and just make sure you all know that Sabrina Campbell from my office represents me, and she's at these meetings. and she's just incredible. I think many of you already know her, but talking to her is even better than talking to me. So she's there here as well. Thank you all.
All right, great.
Thank you so much. Reply back, please, to Ms. Moore.
Okay, Ms. Gibson, you can go ahead.
They are trying something in some of the schools that's called Crisis in the Classroom. It's a tip line, and it's for bullying and for teasing. It's called Crisis in the Classroom tip line. So I don't know if you heard about that, but that's coming down the line. And so maybe it can be used also for virus. But it's Crisis in the Classroom tip line. They actually give a kid's number to call.
Thanks, Barbara.
Right. For that head. Ms. O'Shaughnessy, do you have anything else? So your hand is still raised.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Okay. Dr. Burke?
Well, thank you, John, and thank you, former board members, for allowing me to come in and be the last speaker here at during Community Speak. So it's amazing now that I'm on the other side of this, being a private citizen. So I'm free now. I can really, say what I want. And so one of the things I want to say is to thank you. I'm actually treating this form as a chain of command ceremony. So I mean, a change of command. So for those of you that have been in the military or are familiar with military procedure, there's something called change of command. And that normally happens when the old leader leaves and the new leader is coming in. And so, you normally exchange a garrison flag. And so even though I don't have a flag to give to Beatrice and her team, but nonetheless, I'm treating this as so. So, before I begin, as many of you heard last month that, I was not only removed as chair, but removed from the board overall. And let me be perfectly clear to you board members, as well as to the community and anybody out here is listening. I was forced out. So I did not quit on you or anything like that. I didn't quit on you. I didn't voluntarily step down. I was forced out, okay, by our election. So I just want to be 100% clear of that I was forced out. And then, you may wonder why. And again, I think some of you know why, but one of the things that I would like to reiterate to the board and to the community, as I said, it was never about me. It was about all of us, right? But, under, my leadership as chair, some of the things that we did was we were able to bring more structure. I'm just going to list some of the things, more structure to our community meetings. We were able to establish new committees, some of which was discipline was one. The not-for-profit was another. We were able to remove board members who, quite frankly, were not attending, who were taking up space, which allowed more board members to come in. I hope, instituted a proactive stance towards land use development, which is why I'm so glad to hear Beatrice talk about an urban planner, because that's one of the things that, that I wanted to get was an urban planner. So I'm glad to hear you say that, which of course is a proactive stance. We looked at the CB12 master plan. We improved our input of the Sunshine Fund by over 100%. And some other things that we were able to do under my leadership, and I'm just going to list a few more. We were able to increase our relationship with our community partners. So, for instance, the 222nd Street taxpayers, the 47 Precinct Council, Wakefield taxpayers, Edenwald, the women of Woodlawn, and so many more ideas that were developed by you, the board, and by community members. So, for instance, our newsletter that's going out that Mrs. Lago Martin is dealing with, that came directly from a community member. That wasn't my idea. That was a community member's idea, and we're implementing that. The same thing with Ageria, who, when she came up with the retreat, the community board retreat, that was her idea. Or Alfredo with his idea about, and Lucille Martin, that they had an idea about mapping out our communities and making a notebook. All of these ideas were not mine. they were everybody's. And that's what I would like to say. It was never about me, it was about we. So what I'm going to be doing in the coming days and weeks and months ahead is I'm going to be outlining what exactly happened and going forward. So this is by no way the end. And just to let you know that you still will see me. So even though I know certain individuals think that they can silence me, they can't. So I still plan on being active in the community because I still think critically. And one thing I'm hearing from you board members is that you are asking critical questions. The only thing that I ask is that you continue to think critically. And I'm already hearing that you are. And if that's a legacy of mine, so be it. That's a good one because you think critically. So one of the things I want to do before wrapping this up is I want to thank all of the officers that I've served with. So for instance, Jerry being an excellent first vice chair, John, the host, and you definitely being a wingman that I could definitely count on. Carla, Ms. Benitez, Tolene, you're one hell of a treasurer, and all of Mr. Stricker for, being a parliamentarian, all the committee chairs. I mean, because it wasn't me. It was you guys that made us look good. It was all of us. So, again, I know people want to make it about me, but they missed the point. It was you. It was a community. It was all of those community members that contacted me for, Dr. Burke, we have an idea. Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? And implement those ideas. So to thank you, everybody. And to those elected officials who cared to show up, like Councilman Denowitz, who we just heard from give a lengthy presentation, Assemblyman Denowitz, Senator Biaggi, former Representative Engel, all of those elected officials who came in and took the time to speak with us. So in wrapping this up, I'm going to say this, Beatrice, I'm going to wish you and your team well, whoever wins the election tonight and so forth. I'm here for you if you ever need me. So one of the things that I'm going to ask you to have, Beatrice, and the team that you will lead, ask you to have three things. Number one, ask you to have courage. Ask you to have courage because there's some people who you're going to run into that, quite frankly, don't have courage. And what do I mean by that? They're cowards. They will sit there and hide behind others to have them do others' dirty work, whether they sit on your board, whether they be an elected official, or whether they be in the community. If you are a good leader, you're going to have people coming after you, Beatrice. And so I say all this to say, make certain that you have courage. More importantly, have aspirations, have lofty aspirations. And one thing that I tried to do under my leadership was to have lofty aspirations for what I knew this community could do. Make certain that you have lofty aspirations, because again, if you don't, then of course you may fall to those people who are cowards. And those cowardly people are morally corrupt, Beatrice. And in my interactions with you, I know that that is not you. You're a woman that wants to get things done, just like I was a man who wanted to get things done. Don't be a coward, and definitely do not be morally corrupt. And that goes for the rest of you as board members. But most important, tell the truth. Always, always, always tell the truth. That's one of the things that I did to you board members. I've never lied to you, and I never will. So that's something that I've always treasured as a tenet of mine. Always tell the truth, because when you call somebody, even if they don't agree with you and you work things out, you can resolve your problems. Don't be a coward. Always tell the truth. And last but not least, to Hannah and Sydney. I know Sydney is no longer here, and Hannah, you're still here. But Hannah, I'm so sorry that you had to witness all of this. I know that you're getting ready to go to college in the fall, and although I know where you're going, I'm not going to reveal that. If you want to reveal that to the board, you can, to the community. But in the conversations that I've had with you and your mother, I know that you have great things ahead of you. My plan for you was to give you a special certificate tonight, but obviously I'm no longer chair, so I can't do that. But to you and to all the other graduates, I want to say congratulations, because you are a special young lady, and I'm so sorry that you had to witness the adults screw it up, But make no mistake about it, this is not what public service is about, Hannah. Public service is about doing what you did and continuing to serve. So I'm going to ask that you, when you go to college, that you continue to serve. And to the board members that I see in front of me, continue to do what you're doing. Continue the good fight. Continue to be the wonderful people that you are. And I'll just leave you with this. You know, Newton's third law of thermodynamics always says for every action, there's equal and opposite reaction. So now that people have done their talking, I'm going to do mine. So Nat, listen, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. So just continue the fantastic work that you're doing. I'm gone. Take care. And thank you for letting me be your chair. And thank you for board members as well as community. As I said, I really appreciated it. And I really enjoyed you, and all of you. God bless you and good night.
Thank you so much, Dr. Burke.
All right, Dr. Burke, hold it down.
Thank you, Dr. Burke.
Dr. Burke.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. Burke.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
And we will continue your legacy.
Yep.
Thank you, Dr. Burke. God bless you.
All right. Okay, we're gonna go back to our elected officials. Councilmember Riley's office is here. Cynthia? Councilmember.
Hey, are you able to hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right, cool beans. So, good evening, everyone. This is Cynthia from Councilmember Kevin Riley's office. So, just to go over the few general pieces, our contact number is 718-684-5509. Our email is district12@council.nyc.gov. My personal email with the council is cprisco, C as in cat, P as in Peter, R as in rabbit, I as in igloo, S as in Sam, C as in cat, O as in owl, at council.nyc.gov. We have two offices, one at 940 East Gun Hill Road and one at 135 Einstein Loop, room 44 on the second floor. We have appointments and limited walk-in access just in order to comply with safety protocols. So some events that we have going on, our office is collaborating with the Love Apostolic Tabernacle and community leader Shireen Hall to distribute food every Friday, weather permitting, from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. with the Unity and Love Warehouse on 3369 Wilson Avenue, Bronx, New York, 10469. We're having our community street event actually 2 days from now, this Saturday, from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. on McCombie Avenue. It's the one that's by the Social Security office. Boston Road and Gun Hill Road are the two adjoining streets, also Duncan. This event is going to be an all-ages event. It'll have activities, music, and resources, kind of just like really bringing people together to fellowship and just enjoy each other and enjoy the weather. To find more about the work that we're doing, I'm going to put our link tree and all of this information in the chat, but for those who are conferencing in via the phone, it is www.linktr.ee/CM Kevin C. Riley.
All right, thank you very much.
No problem.
Harmony?
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here tonight. Thank you for having me. I just wanted to go over a couple of updates from our office. So first, we are having constituent services in the office by appointment. So I dropped our contact information in the chat, so please reach out to us if you need any assistance. We are also offering COVID tests, self-testing kits, face masks, and hand sanitizer at our office, so please stop by our district office at 959 East 233rd Street if you're ever in need of any of those supplies, and please feel free to send constituents our way as well. We will also be having our annual community barbecue on July 16th. That's a Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m. And we'll have a lot of resources, food. A lot of our community partners are coming out, so we hope to see you there. On the legislative side, the legislative session is over, but I'm sure many are aware with recent updates, the Supreme Court decision this morning, there may be a need for a special session this year where lawmakers will go back to pass additional gun safety laws. And this is in addition to the 10 bill package that was recently passed and signed into law by Governor Hochul, including Senator Bailey's bill, which establishes a task force on social media and violent extremism. And we're excited about a number of bills that our office has been able to pass this year, and we're looking forward to having more of those bills signed into law and updating the community on that. Thanks for your time.
Okay, great. Daniela Smith.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Danella Smith. I work for Assemblyman Jeffrey Dinowitz. The Assemblyman couldn't be here tonight, but he does send his hellos. I don't have many announcements. As the council member mentioned, there is the food pantry in collaboration with the fellowship that starts on June 29th. I will post our office information in the chat. If anyone has any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Alexandria Witt from Hasty's office.
Hi, good evening, everyone. How are you?
Good, good, good. How are you, sir?
I'm well, happy to hear that. So first and foremost, just want to wish the new administration coming in all the best, and to give my special thanks to Dr. Burke on his outstanding performance during his tenure. The Assemblyman just wants everyone to know that our annual barbecue will be July 9th at Hafen Park. I think many of you online know pretty much the information for the office already, but our office number is 718-654-6539. Again, no major announcements from us at this point. Just continue to stay safe. COVID cases are rising, so please make sure that you're still taking preliminary precautions. Other than that, I wish everyone a good evening, good night, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Alexis?
Hi, good evening. This is Alexis from the Bronx Borough President's Office. How are you?
Good, good, good. How are you, Miss Alexis?
Good. So I just wanted to start off by saying God bless you, Dr. Burke, and I hope that you enjoy your summer. And please send me an email so we can stay in touch. So to the board, again, good evening. I hope that everyone is doing well. Happy Caribbean Heritage Month and happy Pride. The reappointment applications will be going out next week. Thank you to the board members who were celebrating with us during Bronx Week. The latest newsletter has been shared with board members and the board as a whole, and it contains the most up-to-date information as well as upcoming events. So we hope to see you at the future events. We all hope that you have a safe and happy summer, and thank you for all of your hard work.
All right, thank you. Talia?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Talia Leriano. I'm from the Bronx District Attorney's Office. I do not have any news. I just want to let everyone know that we are finally seeing individuals in our office. I am the supervisor at our satellite office, which is located in the community board building on the 3rd floor. We do have security now, so we are accepting walk-ins. My information is in the chat if you would like to contact me via email or phone. Thank you, everyone, once again, and have a great and blessed evening.
Thank you. Did I miss any of the representatives from or elected officials? I don't have a list in front of me, so I'm trying to scan through the screen. If I miss anyone, could you please say something? And yes, that's it.
John?
Yes, Ms. Benitez?
Shalom.
Thank you. The chair, the first vice chair, Egeria, do you have a report to give, or you're gonna bypass it?
No. Hi, good evening, everybody. I did have a report, and I had sent it to Ursula, but she's under the weather. She definitely is under the weather. and she didn't have her emails. But my report was really just that the committees that did meet, and that you would have their minutes to read as far as what they did. And I think some committees are going to lay out their reports tonight.
Okay.
And other than that, I was going to say, just enjoy your summer. Have a great summer, everyone. That's all.
The district manager wasn't feeling well also, so I think his report will just be emailed.
Yes, I think that's the case. I think, well, they both have come down. Like they said, like it was said, that it was stated today, you have to be aware that COVID does exist. I just had COVID. I mean, for the first time ever. And that's just about 2 weeks ago. I really did just have COVID. And I think that's what is also affecting Ursula.
Yes.
And I've had somebody in my office and they just had COVID. So it's like there's a new wave in terms of how this pandemic is going around. They do come in waves. It's not that it's over. It is differentiated because they are the variants. You may be feeling like you have allergies because that's how it affected me. I thought I was dealing with an allergy or a slight cold. I couldn't tell. But by, 3 days is what it lasted. And by the time I got to the doctor, he told me that it was COVID.
Wow.
So just be aware, like if you start feeling a little anxious or you're feeling something in your throat and you're feeling something in your eyes, you're feeling a little tired, get yourself checked, even if you've had the vaccination, because I've had the vaccination and I've also had the booster. So that's why I was shocked and I said, oh, I'm just having allergies. It was not allergies. It was, in fact, COVID. And then to hear that Ursula is down with COVID, to hear that I had 2 people on the job that recently was down with it too. So it's not going away. It's going to evolve, but it's not going away.
Okay, great.
May I say something, Barbara Gibson?
Yes, Ms. Gibson.
I developed a flyer that says, hey kids, there's a virus in the land. I sent it to the educational leader as well as Ms. Bennett. So yes, the virus is here to stay. Take precaution and be safe. And I thank God I haven't caught it. I'm happy here to come without the virus. Thank you.
I gotta do a better job protecting myself too. I've actually basically haven't even walked with a mask in days. So, but I will have on one tomorrow. Do we have any minutes to approve? That's next on the agenda. Approval of minutes.
John, excuse me, Mr. Hall is waving his hands.
Oh, Mr. Hall?
You see him?
I can't hear you. You're muted. We can't hear you, Mr. Hall. He's talking away, but we can't hear him. Okay.
Okay, well, this is Carla. I'll fill in the gap.
Okay.
March and April minutes were sent to the office. So they should be ready to be voted on, but because of unwellness, they don't seem to be attached anywhere. So I'm thinking September is going to be a busy meeting. I can't find them anywhere, but I did submit them to the office. So I think we have to table that until the September meeting because they were not published and distributed.
Do I need to get a motion to table the minutes, or could I just table?
So moved.
I think we can just
table it.
Skip it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
All right, great. The next thing
Can
is
you hear me?
is a financial report. Oh, yeah, we could hear you, Robert.
Okay. Listen, I just wanted to say this. I couldn't get in. I was listening to Dr. Burke. I just wanted to say I have a daycare center in Gun Hill houses, and it's the oldest daycare center in one of the oldest in the city of New York. Right now, they have 22 children, and it's under Susan Webb. They're trying to throw together a graduation for those little kids. All right. It's right outside Miss Gibson's building, so she knows what I'm talking about. But that being said, I've been trying to get proclamations from the elected officials and get them there. But at the same time, working this early election, so it's been quite difficult. But I want to extend an invitation for anyone who's in the Gun Hill area to stop by on Monday from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. I've spoken to Carl Hasty's scheduler, so I hope Alexander Wick can follow up. And I've also, Ms. Prisco, I've also reached out to try to get a proclamation from the councilman. And I'm hoping that the director has also spoken to Jamal Bailey. So I'm doing the best I can as far as that's concerned. But these are 22-year-old, these are kids. There's 22 of them from 3 to 5 years of age. And I'm trying to hold something for them. So I just want to make everyone aware of that. And if they can proceed in the area, please feel free to come by. And the elected officials can get in touch with either myself or my assistant, who's trying to get a hold of each and every one of you. Thank you.
All right.
May I say something to Robert?
Yes, ma'am.
He needs to get each one of the children's name and get it to the office, because it'll be given to them with their name. And it can be done.
I'm working on that. I'm working on that also.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Hall, can we also get your information in the chat just so we can reach out to you to get that information?
Yes, I'll get it to you. Okay.
All right.
I'll do that.
Okay, great. Ms. Dixon, could we have the financial report, please?
But of course. Let me just say this. I'm still sitting here grinning over the fact that I'm one hell of a treasurer. That's pretty deep. Yes, like, hey, no. I like that, Miss Hayes. But
absolutely.
The best.
I am that because of you all. Because you as a family stepped up and y'all did some amazing, amazing work. I mean, even with the challenge and everything else you did, I mean, I had people at my door, people at the house, people waving out the windows. I mean, it was pretty awesome how y'all all came together as a family for the Sunshine Fund, knowing what the Sunshine Fund means and what it can mean to us as members. So I want to thank you for that. Where we are right now is, gotta get a drum roll. Okay, so we're at 2625 right now. Okay, yeah. I know, Mr. Hall. You know, I know. That's like, whoo. Yeah. Okay, so I appreciate y'all thoroughly. Don't stop. You know, this is going to go on. My other thing that I just wanted to ask you all to do, and it's that on the 20th, I don't even want to say celebrated because it wasn't celebrated, but it was 4 years since we lost one of my kids. When I say my kids, one of my boys, and that was Alessandro Jr. So it was then, 4 years ago on that day that we lost him, and it's been basically all downhill since. So please keep us in prayer. Keep mothers and everybody in prayer, all family members in all that we're going through right now. What else? Did I have anything else to say? I put my email and my phone number, as always, in the chat. So if you have any questions, anything you want to know, any ideas, or if you hear of one of our members going through something, please contact me and let me know so that we can do what we do and reach out with blessings for that individual and that individual's family. What else? Off the side of the treasurer, Tuesday the 28th, I have an education committee meeting. That's going to be a serious closing out. So please try and come, all of you. Bring somebody with you. Whatever you need to do. It's going to be a good meeting. Okay, is there anything anybody wants to say or anything?
That will be on Zoom, Tolene.
Yes, I know.
Okay, yes.
Oh yeah, yes, it will definitely be on Zoom. Because I'll be on Zoom. Okay, so y'all be safe.
Thank you.
God bless you.
All right. We're gonna first have our first committee report, the Economic and Business Services.
Thank you, John.
Oh, welcome.
I had two establishments come before our committee. The first establishment is called Platinum Dining Incorporated. The DBA name is Gold Star. I think everybody's seen it on the block on White Plains Road. It's located at 3768-3770 White Plains Road. It's a Caribbean restaurant, brand new to the area, at least the owners are. And they're looking for a new license for their establishment. The second establishment is called Easy Life Restaurant and Lounge Incorporated, and that's located at 1300 East 222nd Street. They are a Nigerian restaurant. Most of the entertainment happens on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I know if some. Oh, okay. I know most of you have heard about this particular establishment.
All right, how am I now?
Bob, can you mute yourself? Bob, mute yourself. So these two, and he's up for a renewal of his establishment. He's been in this neighborhood for about at least 10 years. So what I'm looking for is approval from the board that we approve a new license for Platinum Dining Incorporated. And I'm looking for an approval of a renewal for Easy Life Restaurant. That's it for me, John. I just need a.
I'm sorry, we have to do two separate votes for
No,
that?
No, because this is relatively easy. So
Okay.
there's not that many problems there. So we can do it together.
Okay, so let's call for the vote so we could get this over with.
To approve the minutes, to approve the committee minutes.
This is to approve. This is to approve the economic and development, the recommendation.
Committee report, and and when we approved the report, we approved their request.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yes.
Okay. So you should take a vote.
Call for the roll.
Okay, will do. Judith Benitez, aye. Egeria Bennett.
Abstain.
Denise Bond. I got you. I see you. Thank you, Denise. Ivan Boraz.
Aye.
Carla Bastati.
Aye.
Michelle Brumfield.
Abstain.
Victor Brown is a no. Right? Thumbs up. Victor. He looks like he's frozen. I know. Is Deacon Edward Brown here? Deacon Edward Brown. Norbert Bryan.
Herbert, he was on earlier.
Yeah, I saw that. Is he? Do you see him on the list? I don't see him anymore.
Norbert? I'm not seeing him.
Okay, I'm gonna have to knock him off as not present.
Okay.
Sadie Campbell? Sadie Campbell? Hello, Sadie? No? Joan Claude?
Aye.
Thank you, Joan. Beatrice
You're welcome.
Cornell?
Aye.
Charlene Dickerson?
Aye.
Kevin Eichelberger?
Aye.
Alfredo Figueroa?
Aye.
Hannah Gapali? Hannah, are you still here?
Check. Yes, she is still on. Hannah?
Hannah, are you? I don't see you on the list.
Okay.
You will have to forgive me because what I'm doing is I'm going through the list at the same time I'm calling your names just to make sure I don't miss anyone.
Okay.
She's not on here anymore. I don't see her.
So do we still have a quorum?
Yeah, we still have a quorum.
Okay, great.
Barbara Gibson?
Aye.
Johnny Goff? Johnny Goff? Not present. Robert Hall? Just give me a sign or something, Robert. I see him, but he's not. Robert, say yay or nay. Give me this. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Lisa Hayes?
Yay.
Huh?
Yes, aye. Yay.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Lisa. Oh, God. John Isaac?
Aye.
Theodore James? Theodore James?
He's on. I saw him just then.
He's still there.
Ted, come on.
He's got to answer me.
Put your hand up. You good? Yeah, aye.
Thank you. Keisha Martin?
Aye.
Oh, boy. Afalas? Not present. Siobhan Mazanet? Not present. Lucille Martin?
Aye.
Danica Moore?
Aye.
Clinton Mike?
Aye.
Carmen Ortiz?
Aye.
Anthony Reed?
Aye.
Harry Singh?
Aye.
Carl Stricker?
Aye.
Luke Zavados?
Aye.
Deborah Torado? Deborah Torado. I didn't see her. Not present. Esther Nyema?
Aye.
The ayes have it, Mr. Vice Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one up is the Parks Department, Ms. Bond. Next could
I'm
be.
coming. I'm here.
Oh yeah, hurry up, Mr. Bond.
Yes, I am. I'm getting to it, sir. Good evening, all. There are only 2 points from the Parks Committee. These were voted upon, and we are looking for letters of support from the full board now. In the committee, it was voted on unanimously to give our support, and I'm just going to briefly review them with you. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, so the Shoelace Park fitness equipment, they gave a pretty in-depth presentation in reference to that. That was given in the May meeting. but we did not have a quorum on the committee at that time. So we took the vote in this meeting in June, and that passed unanimously. So we just need now to vote on that. I think we can actually, to just save time, we can actually vote on both of these things because they came out unanimously from the committee. And then there was the letter of support for, and excuse me if I butcher the name, but Ujama Gardens. I think I got it right.
Yes.
These are the young ladies who have been working diligently, and I do say diligently, to try to get this off the ground. And finally, they are making some headway with the Department of Transportation and with the support of the Parks Department and with our preliminary letter of support that we had given them. But now we need to update that letter of support. And once again, the committee unanimously backed the gardens. So that's what I have for you.
Okay. Ms. Benitez.
Yes.
Do this in reverse. If anyone object to the recommendations of the park department, could you say aye or whatever, or
indicate your name.
Say your name.
Any objections?
Any objections? All right.
So it's a unanimous aye.
So moves.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you all.
The next up is actually the Capital Improvement and Transportation Committee. Wow. Yeah. So we met on June. We met on June 9th at 7:05. There was a meeting with representatives from Department of Environmental Protection. I didn't vote on it because I work for DEP, but they presented the 233rd Street pumping station improvement. And with all the climate changes and frequent flooding, DEP has planned to upgrade the existing pumping station located on the on-ramp of the Bronx River Parkway. The improvement will help to alleviate all the flooding that happens on the Bronx River, and the new materials and landscape will blend right into the context of the parkway. And construction should begin in July 2024 and in January 2026. A motion was made and seconded by the committee to write a letter in support of this essential improvement. I think it's needed. We shouldn't have any problems with it. Present was Clinton Mike, Luke Zabatos, and myself. And then so that's the only thing we have to vote on to send a letter of support for this project. The next project that we actually met on, which is very important, and I need everyone on the board to jump on, is the Gun Hill Bus Improvement Plan. And why Gun Hill? It is because Gun Hill serves as a major crosstown connection in our community. And it connects the residents of Co-op City and Montefiore Hospital. And along that corridor, there's so many public housing and all this stuff. 40,000 people use the Gun Hill corridor every day. Currently, during rush hour, the buses on Gun Hill Road moves at a rate of 5 miles per hour, making the commute 17 to 15 minutes longer. So the improvements that they actually showed us will improve and increase the speed and organize the traffic by implementing offset busing lanes. And New York City DOT and their consultants are still in the process of redesigning Gun Hill Road from Webster Avenue to White Plains Road. That's that major hub that connects with the Bronx River, and that's a major problem for us. So I need everyone, when we meet next time, to come out and show some support and get involved. And that's my community report for June 2022. So I need a letter of support to help alleviate the flooding on the Bronx River and let DEP build a new pumping station.
So let's take a vote on it.
Let's take a vote. Is anyone opposed?
I don't. I'm sorry. I did hear somebody say yes, but
Any questions? You have a question?
Yes, I do. Thank you. I thought we were supposed to ask a question.
On readiness? Okay. All right. Ms. You're frozen.
Are we taking the vote?
Ms. Hayes had a question. We lost her for a second.
Ms. Gibson have a question.
Okay, Ms. Gibson, you could go ahead.
Regarding the bus line.
Yes.
I've been requesting a bus from Home Depot all the way over to Broadway, over by Bailey Avenue. We need a bus to go all the way over. And then that would cut some of the traffic of those trying to get on the buses, because it's not, all the buses are crowded. But we have a lot of people that work in the hospitals and try to go to Target and whatever, can get there by that route. But that's from Home Depot all the way past Bailey Avenue to Broadway. Please consider it, sir.
Yeah, we have to meet with the there's a lot of issues. Apparently, a lot of the changes that were made in our neighborhood, the residents don't agree with it. So I actually want the design team to come back and listen to these residents. I think we need to have a meeting with them again.
I'd like to know. I'd like to be
Go ahead,
in on
Bobby.
that meeting, please. Let me know.
Okay, I will. Mr. Strickland?
Yeah, what I wanted to say, we could have took care of this when Mr. Hall was the chairman, and he cut us short when the committee was here for MTA. I had a couple of questions, which would have took care of one thing that Ms. Gibson wants, and other things about the rerouting of the 30 and so forth. And it was just, pushed aside on me and on you. He just killed it because he didn't give anybody a chance to talk.
Okay, so I'm gonna see if we could. You think we could bring it back up on the table to MTA?
Yes, you can bring it back to the table. The changes are going in on Sunday because all picks start on Sunday.
Okay.
And my biggest concern is, and I haven't been able to find out, is what's going to happen to the 30 because they wanted to take it off Gun Hill Road.
Okay.
And which means transferring at Gun Hill and Boston Road for hundreds of students, hundreds of people going to the hospital. And when I brought it up, they said, we'll take a look at it. But you know something? Every time the MTA says they have an improvement, it's a disimprovement.
Yeah. Well, that the changes that they're doing on Gun Hill is gonna be good. Where they're gonna have just that painted lane for just the buses alone. And I think if you drive in that lane, you're gonna get a ticket. So I'm letting everyone know now. If you drive in that bus lane, you're gonna get a ticket. Okay.
So how is that? I'm sorry. How is that an improvement with traffic if it's already backed up?
No, okay.
I'm sorry, John.
You could go ahead.
Okay, because I worked on this red lane stuff when I was working for transit. What it does, we're not worried about the local traffic. We're worried about getting the people who have to take the bus home faster. If you have a clear lane, the bus speed is much fast.
Then what would be a solution of a happy medium for those that are in private vehicles or in other type of transportation trying to make it home as well or to their destination, whether it's school or work? I think in this community, we also have to remember there are many residents here that drive to and from work, have kids in schools and businesses, and the ones who get the brunt of it are those in vehicles. For instance, the bus island on Webster Avenue and to East 233rd Street by the Metro North Woodlawn Station, it creates more traffic there on Webster Avenue. Now there's an island on East 233rd Street over the bridge to get to Woodlawn Metro North. More traffic.
talking
you
about that?
thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that up. I mean, whoever came up with that, sorry for cutting you off. Whoever came up with that idea on 233rd, I mean, no disrespect to nobody, but they weren't thinking. That's horrible. And like
I've never seen that
the
before.
like the young lady just said, some of us drive. I drive to work every day to City Hall from 233rd, and it takes me almost an hour and a half to get downtown, and almost 2 hours to get home, and 45 minutes of the traffic is getting off on 233rd and the Deegan and coming all the way to Laconia. The traffic is hideous. Whoever came up with that idea, I'm hoping it's temporarily, because that's going to cause a lot of problems. And again, there's no enforcement there. They just went ahead, did this. I never heard about
that didn't come before the board, Alfredo.
That's what I'm saying, but that's the problem we're having, John. You know, people are just coming to CB12 doing what they want to do and not thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? I drive every day, man. You know what I mean? I don't take public transportation.
It looked like they had an extra one.
And again, so for us, for the people that do drive, you know, it got to convenience us also. It's not just, you know, you put a platform in the middle of 233rd and just pretend that people are going to obey it. I mean, people, I've seen 3 dudes almost run right into it. You see what I'm saying?
I saw
But Freda, also to your point, everybody, it's creating gridlock because we have the same issue on 222nd Street. 222nd from 95 going like toward White Plains Road. It takes ridiculously long because we used to have 2 lanes of traffic. Now it's 1. We also have stoplights all along all of the major streets. So they're creating more problems. Adding bus lanes, we have little scooters and they're knocked over there in front of all the private homes. So it is getting more dangerous because those things are also putting our youth at risk. They're running out in the street and stuff like that, and the drivers are frustrated.
And like John said, like John said, John's the chair of the transportation committee, and he doesn't even know about this. And that's sad.
I was surprised to see it.
That's very sad that people come up here.
It was on Southern Boulevard.
You know, they want to come here, do what they want to do, and then after the fact, then they go, oh yeah, this is what we did. I mean, I don't know how that's even legal that somebody could just come and do things and walk away and let us handle it. Because again, somebody's going to get hurt in 233rd, where the young lady mentioned, somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get hurt, and when they start asking questions to the community board and all these people, why y'all let this happen, then we got to answer to them. So we got to speak. I mean, again, listen, if we got to bring in the new DOT commissioner, let me know. I know him personally. If we got to bring him in and grill him, let me know. But we cannot have people just come here, do what they want to do, and walk away and leave us, people that live up here, that have homes, that pay taxes, leave us up here, you know, with headaches. It's not fair to us. You know what I mean? It's not fair to you as the chair of the transportation committee.
Okay, great.
Exactly.
Hi, everyone. Time, guys. Hold on.
John, let me explain to them what's going on here.
No need to explain. I mean, it's just wrong.
Well, I'm telling you why it's being done. Would you please give me the courtesy of listening? Because the board voted in favor of this. We voted for a new bike lane. And that's what's causing all these issues. Will be the new bike lane. Because the lane on the north side of the street by Metro North entrance will be a bike lane. And on Webster, the bike lane will be along the east curve from 233rd through 241st, which was approved by the community board. The one thing that they didn't expect to do was Con Edison coming in and doing all kinds of gas main work on Webster, and that's what delayed the painting of the bike lanes. But this all had to do with the bike lane, which was a de Blasio idea.
Can I just add 2 points? And I want to apologize because I know that there's time into this meeting, but I just wanted to add in those 2 points. I wanted to know first, if implementing these approvals for bike lanes, if let's say 1 to 2 and 3 years from now, it causes more headaches, is there any way to remove them or reroute them where they're not in high traffic courier trucks, buses, and heavy vehicle areas? Because there are place zones in the Bronx and in other boroughs that there are so many trucks there that you can't really put bike lanes because it's too much and the probability of accidents is too high. Secondly, regarding Con Edison, or any city agency, can we put in a rule and a fine in place that they have to approve things with the board as opposed to them doing whatever they want? Because again,
No, this is
it
capital
affects us.
improvement.
Yeah. Well, this
I
is
mean,
one of the things that I'm trying to change, because remember when the homeless services came, they told us they don't need to ask our permission to do anything in our neighborhood. So for years we've been disrespected, and I'm still mad at all the
Thank you, John.
commissioner coming here and telling me in my face, "Oh, I don't need to ask you guys anything." So
I hear you.
I heard about that.
So, John, I just wanted to sort of repeat what Carl said, because those bike lanes, we voted for them. When I say we as a board.
We did.
And so I know I voted against it, but this is what happened because I saw it coming, and it's here with us now.
But Ted, we have to look at both ends of the stick too, because if you look at the price of gas and the way technology is going, are we going to be using cars in the next?
Trust me, 90% of us are not going to be riding bikes.
You know, I agree with that. But another point is, just like you spoke about the homeless services not necessarily needing to come to us, sometimes some of these votes that get passed, whether we pass them or not, some of these changes are coming down the line. That's what we're talking about with regard to that disrespect. Something else that came to mind when we had Community Speaks and they spoke about the bus stop in front of Palm Tree. A few years ago, people were advocating for it to change, and the problem with the Palm Tree parking lot being resolved by adding an entrance from Boston Road to the supermarket. So I don't know if the moving of that bus stop was done in alignment with that same way of thinking. But there was something previously brought up that we wanted them to have an entrance off of Boston Road. And it was the bus stop and the fire hydrant that were causing a conflict.
And also that, Ms. Martin, that's a state road too. So that's a whole different entity, and it was a bunch of different problems.
Yeah, and the DOT might be in violation of what the regulations on that highway is.
All right.
By removing the bus stop. What they did, they wanted to make the bus stops 1,000 feet apart, but they never took into the consideration of where they were removing them, because that is, even I go to that farm there, because I get sour sap and other stuff. I don't think sour sap is funny. It has a terrible taste. But anyway.
He gets
we got to move
on.
Yeah, John, I have a question. John. Young lady.
What's up?
Hi, are we going to take a vote on the DEP issue?
Yeah.
Yes, we just got involved with other stuff.
He had a question about it first.
I did, but I will give my time to the new young lady, Miss Florissa. I'm sorry, I don't mean to butcher your name.
She's been here for a while.
I've never met her.
It's Florissa. Hi, everyone. It's nice to be back. I've attended a meeting many years ago, just one. It's interesting to hear of all the concerns and the changes that that everyone would like to implement. I know that we're never gonna come into an agreement taking that into consideration. And it is these implementations may be for good or for bad, but at the end of the day, I agree with many of you guys. In terms of Gun Hill, I'm a block away from Gun Hill. And it's incredible, the traffic. I mean, implementing a bus lane would just add extremely more traffic into the rush hour that comes in the morning, in the afternoon, or at 3 o'clock. And I know that in the previous, when I've attended the meeting many years ago, pre-pandemic, one of the issues that has been going on is that left lane on Olinville and Gun Hill. Especially when they did the closure of the left turning signal on Willett that it's right next to the gas station BP.
Mhm.
It's just created for everyone that needs to go into that street to come all the way around, go around White Plains, to then loop around and going through the right into the right lane. But I know that that left signal there has been extremely challenging. If you may say, I know that you guys have tried to make or implement changes on that.
All clean.
I'm sorry?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I
I
beg
think
your
somebody's
pardon?
calling for the question. It's
Please
9 o'clock.
mute. Please mute.
Okay, so my question is, what has been done if these implementations are totally a go for, and everyone decides to vote on this incredible change on the traffic, which I do not agree. I agree with the young lady that spoke before. What is going to happen with the left turning on there? You know, I personally know the commissioner, Idanis Rodriguez as well, Mr. Figueroa, and I brought this into his attention.
Might put it
And I know that this is an issue for those that live on this left side of Gun Hill, from Olinville.
Okay. So what I want everyone to do is I want you guys to do a couple things. I want you to go to other places in the city that has this installed. You could go to Flushing. I saw it in certain areas in Brooklyn, and it works because it streamlines. But I want you guys to go and actually visualize it. It's not set in stone yet. They're just working on these plans, and they're actually still working on the plans for Gun Hill between Webster and White Plains Road. That's the major problem right there.
All you have to take is a look at First and Second Avenue in Manhattan, and you see it all.
Yes, and it.
I got you, Isaac. I hear you. This is Robert Hall. I hear exactly what you're saying. I'm gonna do just what you said.
Yeah, and it works.
Yeah.
You know, it works. But again, I want you guys to be open-minded and let's go and look at it.
Mr. Isaac, question. If it doesn't work because the probability of it not working here, then what is the plan B that it might not work? Do you revert back to the system that it was? Because, excuse me, sometimes certain things are not broken that don't need to be changed. The reason why I ask is because some changes take a long time to adapt, and it creates more havoc and traffic in certain areas. And I think a lot of people were expressing that. So I pose the question now because these are things that we've seen within the past 10 years in this community and in others. So I think you sometimes have to play chess and think ahead of other angles that if it doesn't work out, then we already know what we can do in 5 years in the short term to regulate and balance the traffic in this area.
Yeah. We just gotta meet with them and see what's going on.
John,
Yes, ma'am.
all I want from you and the board is I need to know what the vote is on the letters of support.
And that's for the DEP project.
That's correct.
Right.
That was my
Is there
question.
any objections to the DEP project?
No. None.
Okay, and no one has changed, so I can say it in the affirmative for everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
That's correct, Ms. Benitez. That's correct.
Thank you all. Now you can continue.
So, I mean, just what it is, let's have more dialogue about this. Let's go and look at what's going on across the city and the new trends, and let's see what's going on.
And John, I really suggest that the people who are speaking tonight should really attend your committee meeting.
Yes, it's important.
Because this is not the forum for what just happened a few minutes ago. We went into a transportation committee meeting forum, and this is actually the board meeting. We should be focusing on that. And
that's what I'm saying. They should come back to the committee meeting.
Okay, no problem. I'm listening. I hear you.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. One thing. Can we just state when exactly the transportation committee meeting is?
Right now, I have to find out when we're having our next meeting and when these guys are coming back. I'll have Ursula send out a note to everyone. And probably
Thank you.
Like highlight it so that everyone would know, because it's important.
Do you think they'll come during the summertime?
I don't know. They might not. I don't know. If anything, I will try to hold them off until September.
This guy's background is the Knicks. Is the Knicks.
May I make a comment? I've been raising my hand.
I'm sorry, Luke.
No worries. I just, I've been attending all the public meetings. I'm on the transportation committee, and I just want to voice my support for this project. One of the reasons why Gun Hill Road is so congested is because our community is historically been underinvested when it comes to bus and transportation infrastructure. So that makes it so that people choose to take a car because they can't rely on the bus. And when the MTA finally gets around after decades to improve bus service on Gun Hill Road, this is a congestion saving issue, and will leave the the driving lanes for the people that actually need it, and everybody else who is able to jump on the bus is going to improve service. We've seen everywhere else in the city, other places in the Bronx, and I think we need to champion these safety improvements, because not only is it going to help with traffic, but it's also going to help with fatalities. These intersections get safer. They're putting pedestrian improvements in, and air quality. When we move to higher density modes of transportation, we save on air quality, and the Bronx has some of the worst cases of asthma in the city. So we need to support these public transit projects, because we're a living and thriving community, and we need what's ours.
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree. Anyone else?
Yeah, Miss Gibson, all the above. But we must remember how many more new buildings is coming in our community.
Yeah.
And the new building that's there. So we're going to need more buses to carry these people, because we don't want them to have cars.
Yeah. And from the presentation, one of the biggest problems Gun Hill Road has is a double parking.
Absolutely. You're correct. You're correct on that. This is Robert Hall. You're right.
So they're actually taking it down to one lane any which way.
Yeah. It's got to be more enforcement with regards to that.
Yeah.
Right. It's enforcement. We shouldn't have to redesign the streets when we have.
They're using the bike lanes as a parking lane.
Well, they actually, the bus lane is more of a expressway for the bus.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it'll help too, because if you have an emergency service or fire department or something that needs to get through, that'll be the quickest way for them to get through.
That is readily quite proactive on Gun Hill Road because of Montefiore and because of the nursing home at the other end of Gun Hill Road. Okay. All right, really.
So sorry. Is it possible for us to move on in the agenda?
Yes, please.
So we have, in old business, we have the removal of board members Afu Las and Joran Manzet. Anyone knows about that?
They have not been to a meeting for, as Ms. Lass is concerned, she hasn't been here for a whole year. As for Joran, he is supposed to be new to the board, and he got ill, and there was a letter that went out to him, an email, and he left it up to us which way we wanted to go with him. But since then, he hasn't shown up either. Okay. So that's the reason why we need to get him off and start afresh in September. And that's why we're asking for the removal off of our roster.
Okay, great. So could we get a motion to actually remove these two members from the committee? The committee.
So moved. Robert, I second Robert Hall.
Are there any objections?
Nope.
John, let me go do a roll call because I want to make sure I have people here.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you. Good Benitez, aye.
So I'm gonna rephrase this again, Miss.
Yeah.
This is to remove both board members.
Yes.
Okay, great. Just want
Yes.
to make sure everyone knows.
Okay, thank you. Egeria Bennett,
Aye.
Denise Bond,
Aye.
Ivan Boras,
Abstain.
Paul Basadi,
Aye.
Michelle Brumfield,
Aye.
Victor Brown,
Aye.
Deacon Brown, Norbert Bryan,
Norbert?
Sadie Campbell, not present. Joan Clark,
Aye.
Beatrice Cornell,
Aye.
Tolene Dickerson,
Aye.
Kevin Eichelberger,
Aye.
Alfredo Figueroa,
Abstain.
Hannah Gapali,
No.
Anna, not present. Barbara Gibson,
Abstain.
Johnny Goff,
Abstain.
not present. Robert Hall,
Aye.
Lisa Hayes,
Aye.
John Isaac,
Aye.
Theodore James,
Aye.
Keisha Martin,
Aye.
Lucille Martin, Lucille,
Aye.
thank you. Shanika Boer,
Abstain.
Clinton Mike,
Aye.
Carmen Ortiz,
Aye.
Anthony Reed,
Aye.
Harry Singh,
Aye.
Carl Stricker,
Aye.
Luke Sabados,
Aye.
Deborah Toronto, not present. And Esther Yema,
Aye.
thank you. The ayes have it. Thank you, everyone.
Motion carries.
A question, Barbara Gibson.
Yes, Ms. Gibson.
How many members do we have per se right now?
35.
How many?
35.
35?
Mm-hmm.
And usually we have how many?
35. Or the overall count for a board is usually 50. But we have, our count is at 35. Isn't it?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, it is actually tough to remove people from the board, but if you're on the board and you're not showing up to meetings and even contacting the board and letting them know that something is wrong, then there's a problem. So it's something that we have to do.
It's all good. I want to comment on that, but remember, last time we did that and we took people off the board, those people were dead, and we didn't even know they were dead.
Yeah, that's
so, a problem. So again, we have to be mindful that maybe people cannot reach out because something's wrong, and we have to give them at least that respect. We voted 2 people off the board, and we came to find out that they died, that they were dead. So that's not nice.
So Alfredo, let me ask a quick question. And you know, if we gotta deal with this again, how would we go about if we left those people on the board? I just hypothetically say, what would we do?
I don't know. I just find it, again, people have issues sometimes that you cannot reach them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that, I mean, situations like this is like, you know, we just gotta be careful. You know how we vote.
Because we send out, or I think the office send out letters and and all that stuff, and nothing was returned. Not even. I think sometimes your family member probably gotta let people know that you're deceased or whatever. I don't know.
Is there an emergency contact that people enter when applying to become a board member? Maybe that might help.
Yeah.
So the issue would be, this is Michelle Bromfield. The issue would be if you're voting someone off after 2 years of no contact. So the person probably that's a systematic issue with the board, because if someone is being engaged on a committee, then the committee might reach out to the person, would know that the person is existing. So if after 2 years, no contact with anyone, and the board moves to vote the person off the board, then that would be it. Because if they're dead, then they would still be off the board. So I think that going forward, that's something then maybe in your good and welfare, whatever it is that the board would need to do, is to remain. These boards are large. They're impersonal. You don't know anybody, right? So if people come on, then you need to have somewhere where you stay in contact with persons, and then you would know if they're dead. And then if they're dead and you vote them off, they would still be off.
Well said.
All right, great. So the time we've been waiting for. Ted, you're up.
Oh,
talk about the elections.
Sure. So, the elections for the new board, which takes place, begin their term in September, were held. The ballots were opened 2 weeks ago, and they were closed at 5 p.m. this evening. We had a total of 17 votes. And I must state that the positions that were being voted for were the chairperson, first chair, second vice chair, correspondence secretary, recording secretary, and treasurer. All of the positions were unopposed except the first vice chair position. So the people running in those positions were for chairperson was Beatrice Cornell, and she was unopposed, so she was automatically elected. For vice chair, there were two candidates, Clinton Mike and Ivan Boras, and Clinton received 16 votes, Ivan received 1 vote. For the other positions, second vice chair, John ran unopposed, so he was elected. Correspondence secretary, Judith Benitez, also unopposed. She was elected. Recording secretary was Michelle Bloomfield, unopposed and elected. And the last person was the treasurer, Tolene Dickerson, who also ran unopposed, and she was elected. So in summary, we had we have a new chairperson in the person of Beatrice Cornell, and we have a new first vice chair in the person of Clinton Mike. Also, correspondence secretary hasn't been, there's still Judith Benitez, and our recording secretary is new. He is Michelle Bloomfield. Tolene Dickerson remains the treasurer. And that is the end of the report for the elections.
Thanks, Mr. James. That's a good report, man. I really like it.
Thank you.
You should be a reporter. It was like,
blow by blow.
Like I was listening to the BBC or something like that.
Mr. Isaac?
Yes, sir.
So the report will be submitted to Ursula, and they will become part of the official minutes for our next meeting.
Mr. Isaac, and the board, I just want to, first, I do not oppose the nomination committee's report, nor the election. I do, and I want to also congratulate all of the winners. But at the same time, I do want to make it clear that I never received a ballot to vote. I don't know if that was anybody else that happened to, but I didn't receive one.
I didn't receive one either.
Okay, hold on 1 second. So when I spoke to George earlier,
I didn't receive one either.
he said that when I spoke to George earlier, I was gonna bring this up. I think we could take votes as long as people are present, or members are present. They could actually vote tonight, I think.
That's. I mean, honestly, again, I do not oppose Clinton Mike's election, but at the same time, that's a conflict of interest, as you see, and this is what constantly happens with our board.
So it's
okay. John? Can I say something? The ballots were sent out by Ursula. So if you normally receive emails from Ursula, I don't see why you would not have received the ballot. If you have problems accessing it, it's different. But you should have received the email.
I agree, Mr. James.
Secondly, there was a candidates forum, which again was sent out by Ursula, and very few people attended. I made the appeal then that if you had problems accessing the ballot or any issues at all, you either reach out to myself, Ms. Denise Bond, or Ursula. And to my knowledge, no one contacted me, Ms. Bond. I don't know if anyone contacted Ursula.
Mr. James, if I can just also add on that, if there were problems, then shouldn't someone have, if you knew the vote was coming up, it wasn't like we were, trying to keep it a secret or something. So wouldn't we have said something prior to this evening? Why wait until this evening to mention that? Wouldn't you want to bring that up to say, oh, whoa, hey guys, something is wrong here. I never got a ballot.
Denise, I sit on the nominating committee, and I don't know why I wasn't included in any of the meetings or the forum. I have nothing in my email, and I actually followed up with Ted in our last board meeting. So I'm really confused right now.
Okay, I'm confused as well because I thought that everyone received everything because it was sent out. I'm not sure. So I don't know. What do we do in an instance like this so that we can move this situation along? Can we if you want those people who didn't get to vote, maybe we could put it in the chat. I'll reopen the Google form and you could put it in the chat. And I'll put it in the chat. I don't know what to do.
I think according to George, as long as
first of all,
go ahead.
As a parliamentarian, first of all, we should check and see who Ursula sent out the notice of the election to.
Correct.
And usually she does a whole board blast. Everybody in the board gets that. So we got to find out why certain people did not receive it. And then we have an issue. Because what happens, a lot of people get stuff on the board and they ignore it. They don't read it. And that could have been a request to vote in the election. But everybody should have been looking for it because they knew it was coming up. So I would wait till Ursula comes back and see if she said across the board, blast everybody about the nominations and the one post we had to vote on, which was first vice chair, and see who did not get it, if there's somebody didn't get it. There's always a possibility something happened. Computers aren't God, and we can check in and see if there was actually people missing it or they just didn't read it.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna recheck my emails myself to see.
It could be in trash.
No.
Spam, you mean?
Can I say something real quickly? I just spoke with Ursula. She said, give her like about 8-10 minutes and she's coming on.
Yeah, but I mean, if she's not feeling well, I mean, that's not even.
I know, but
you know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I
She
mean,
contacted
the elections took place. It is what it is, and we got to just move forward. I just saying that I never received. I'm not making a big deal out of it. It's not going to change the outcome of the election. Again, if Miss Ursula and anybody else is sick, and for us to take them off their resting, that's not fair. So she should not be on the phone. It is what it is. Let's move forward, and that's it.
I agree. I agree with Mr. Figueroa.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay. So do we
Is there
need
a deadline that we can put so that way, we respect Ms. Ursula and anyone else who's not feeling well to get this paperwork and process done forward?
Hold on one second. Does this
done deal?
wait? I'm sorry. I'll let somebody else speak. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't think it's an issue anymore, is it, Ivan? Is it an issue?
Well, it's not an issue. I mean, we don't have an attendance. Was the attendance cross reference with the votes, or anything like that? It's you know what I mean. We're not doing our due diligence as a board, and it is what it is. It's self evident. I don't need to say anything. I congratulate all those that won, and I look forward to the future.
Oh my.
I have something in reference to what Denise suggested and offered to those who didn't receive it, to put the link in the chat, just to make sure that they submit their votes. Could that be done for those people that are actually here on the call? Is that
actually?
George told me as long as they're here in person, they can vote.
Okay, so if Denise can do that, put that in the link, and those people who said they did not receive a ballot, could they fill it out now so it could be added to the record? Because right now I have an attendance, almost a complete attendance of people here who may have voted. Those 17 people who did vote out of 35 people.
Carl?
It's covered in that sense as far as attendance is concerned.
Carl?
That's all, Ms. Benitez.
Yeah. But you can do that if you want to call a floor vote. That's fine, but you got to make sure that they didn't vote before or they never received the ballot. If they received the ballot, they shouldn't be able to vote because they didn't take the voting thing. It's like a general election with our government, where there's always fiddling around. The key is that you have up to a certain date to vote, and anything comes in after that is negative. So, if we can just make a special exception tonight for the people who are attending this meeting who say they never received a ballot. But I would also ask, if we do take the vote, when these folks go home, to check their emails to see if they ever actually got a ballot. And if they did, it's on them that they didn't vote, but they still have the right to vote tonight.
So can Mr. Stricker, just to be clear, so I can go ahead and put the link in the chat and they can vote. Yes?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, they have to vote. Yeah, in the chat. Yeah. For people who are there right now.
Okay.
That
perfect.
didn't vote.
All right. I will do that. I will do that. Give me just a few minutes. I have to open back up the form because the form has been closed out. I will open the form back up. Thank you.
Mama Dick, if you could reach out to Miss Urs and tell her that her presence is not needed and we love her for her to, be well. If you could reach back out to her.
Well,
I'm sorry. Am I being asked to reach out to Miss Ursula?
No. I'm talking to Miss Talene.
Oh, okay.
I think we still need to confirm with Ursula who, because when I look at the email that was sent out, she has a group the CB Gov group. We need to know who is on that group and whether or not they received the email.
Yeah, well, like I said,
all board members are on that group.
So I don't see why they would not have received the email.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't read the email, but I wasn't there, so I can't tell you.
If they did not receive it, they should not be allowed to vote.
I agree. If they received it, they shouldn't vote.
I mean, we gave notice that you had 2 weeks to vote. And if you couldn't get a vote in 2 weeks, reach out to someone. Don't come tonight and say you didn't get a ballot.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, we have 50 members on our board, and 16 members voted. That's got to say something.
That's election, Ivan.
Wait, can I
You
say
never get 100% vote in an election, and some people deliberately try to suppress election votes. We all know that.
Wait, can I say something, please? There are not 50 members on this board currently. I'm looking at as the treasurer, I'm looking at my roster. There are not 50 members on this board. So Ms. Benitez, can you help me out with this?
Yeah, this is Carla. It's like between 35 and 38.
Thank you.
And I just want to say, if I could not find that link, I would have been on the phone with the board office in a half a second saying, I need that link. So for people to show up tonight and say, oh, I couldn't find the link, to me is a poor excuse for not having voted.
It is.
All right, guys. I mean, if you're referring to me, I got the point. I said I'm going to double check my emails. Besides the board,
Mr. Alfredo, that's not for you.
No. I need to say this. Besides the board, I'm on the precinct council. I run a business and I work full time. And I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather. So if I don't have time to look at every email, my bad. But again, I'm not gonna click on the link. I see the link, I'm not gonna click on it. I'm gonna check my emails. I was not on the last meeting. I was excused, so I was not following up as to when the elections were gonna take place. It's not a big deal. There's no need for anyone to make this a big deal or take it personal. I said what I said. I said for us to move forward. And if y'all continue with the topic, it's just gonna get to a point that it should not be getting to. So again, me myself, I'm gonna recheck my emails. If I received it, I'm gonna reach out to Ursula when she feels better, and I'm gonna say I received it. My bad, I did not reply. My vote does not count. Period. It's not a big deal. We big boys, we grown-ups. No need to get offended or to have all that extra stuff said that we missed it, we didn't see it, we didn't read it, blah blah blah. No need for all that extra stuff, please. All right. Thank you.
Hey, Fredo,
Alfredo, if I could help
can I
you,
just say this?
the email was sent out on June 8th, 9:52 p.m. June 8th, 9:52 p.m.
Mr. James, I heard you the first time. All right, I said to leave it alone. I heard you.
Got it.
Alfredo,
That's not
do you mind if I
necessary.
just say one thing? And that one thing is I just counted and there are 35 members, current members. Okay, so I just want to say that. 35 total.
I already told that. I mean, this is ridiculous. Let's move on. John Isaac.
John.
Please move on.
So that was the last thing on the agenda.
I know.
For the evening. So, just want to let everyone have a good summer.
I just want to thank everybody as well. I know that this has been a past rough year and even throughout the pandemic. And so I'm excited about this opportunity. I'm excited about unifying us and developing a really impactful board. We have so many members here that have so much to offer. Alfredo, I'm looking at you. There's so much information. You're a wealth of information. And I just look forward, so many of you, to collaborating and really taking us to that next level and creating the impact that we want for this community. We're all volunteering our time and a lot of time at that. So I wanted to be effective the way that we run this board. And so I'm all about team player. I know that not just one person can take us where we need to be. It will take all of us to get there. And I'm just looking forward for us to really like getting together, working together, and speaking and advocating for our people, for all of us. So I look forward to that.
Thank you,
Congratulations to the new team.
Thank you. Thank you.
Working with you guys, and let's do it. Let's do it, y'all. And everybody have a happy.
So before we go, I just wanted to make sure: did everyone who wanted to vote or didn't get the email or whatever the situation, did you use the link and were you able to vote?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Moore. I see a thumbs up from you. Is there anyone else?
Denise, do we get the results instantaneously or?
Yes. That's why I'm asking. We will get the results, but before I close it out, I want to make sure that anyone who wanted to vote can have the opportunity to vote before I close it.
It's the last call, folks.
All right. Hearing none.
Okay.
I'm moving on.
Thanks, Denise.
Can I get a motion to adjourn, or are we gonna wait for Denise? Denise, you want us to wait for you, or?
Please just give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. I want to just close it out, and then I'll go back and I'll just reconfigure the spreadsheet with all the information again, just to make sure that it's all there.
Alexis from the bar president's office raised her hand. Alexis.
No, Alfredo has something to say.
Alfredo.
Madam, the board president goes first.
Yeah, Alexis.
I'm sorry, I raised it by accident. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay.
Just wanted to say again, everyone, congrats. You know, I look forward to working with you guys. You guys know whatever y'all need me to do, I'm here. I just want to mention August 2nd is National Night Out. Is an event that's nationally, it's a national event throughout the United States. Us, the 47 Precinct, is hosting ours August 2nd across the street from the 47 Precinct. I welcome all to come. It's from 4 to 8 or 4 to 7. It's good for the, for the kids. It's good for us. It's good to just get out and see, everyone. I don't know if the board requested a table, John or Ms. Jerry, I don't know, or Beatrice, I don't know if you guys requested a table. If you haven't requested a table and y'all want a table to put out literature from CB12 or from your ad hoc, if you could reach out to myself or to Officer Bell and request a table, so a table's available for CB12. It's going to be good. It's going to be good this year. And we're shooting, hopefully, God hears my prayer, we're shooting to be the host precinct for this year, which has a lot of perks associated with that. So everyone come out. It's going to be good. August 2nd. Come out and enjoy. A lot of food, a lot of burgers, hot dogs, jerk chicken, water, soda. So come out.
Alfredo, are they going to have a banner up this year?
A who?
A banner, your banner. Are they going to have the 47 Precinct banner up on Granada Place?
Again, last year I was not on the board. I think it was, and it probably flew off because William Ludwig is the one that provides it. So
okay.
I'm gonna assume yes, because he did mention he's gonna bring his big banner that he always brags about. So
okay.
It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice, and
Okay, I just wanted to know because the banner indicates exactly, that it's a National Night Out event.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And also another thing before I forget, sorry, I sent my NAB survey, National Advisory Board survey to Miss Ursula, so she could send it out to our people in the community. If when any of you guys receive and you have a moment, if you could fill out that survey, and it's for the National Advisory Board for CB12. And I sent it to Ursula. Hopefully, she sent it out. If she didn't, when she gets better, she will send it out. And please infill the questions on the survey. Thank you, guys. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Alfredo, at the meeting, we were talking about National Nights Out, and someone indicated it was the 9th, but it is actually the 2nd of August?
Ms. Patterson mentioned the 9th, but I think it's the 2nd. I'll clarify it 1,000,000,000% tomorrow.
Okay.
But it's I think the 2nd. Ms. Patterson, you have something
It's usually
different?
it's usually the second Tuesday of the month.
And that's the 9th.
So okay, that's the day it is. It's usually the second Tuesday of the month.
So my apologies. But I'll just to be on the certain
Oh,
side.
wait a minute.
Oh.
Wait. Sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I understand it to be the first Tuesday.
The first Tuesday. It's the first Tuesday. It's the 2nd.
Thank you.
Everybody.
All right.
Okay.
Ms. Bond, you finished counting, I think I see.
Everything is finished counting now. The form has been closed out. 19 voters in total. Nothing has changed other than for the first vice chair, which is 2 votes for Mr. Boris and 17 votes for Mr. Mike.
Okay. Thank you, Denise.
You're welcome.
Congratulations to everyone.
Congratulations to everyone. And
Congrats and thanks, Denise.
no problem. As long as we continue to work together, and if there is something that anyone sees that is a problem, don't wait till the last minute. Speak up prior to it so we can then work through the problem before we actually have our meeting. I think it would be the way to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we go, can I just remind you about the citywide compliance for the sexual harassment?
That's what I was getting ready to ask.
Yeah, June 30th.
All right. Can someone send me that link? Is that young lady here from the borough president's office? Is she still on? Alexis?
Yes, hi.
Hey, can you send that link? This is Robert Hall. I need that link. So like the sexual harassment.
Robert Hall, got it.
Okay.
I will reach out to DCAT so they can send it to you directly.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay, this is Clinton. I just want to say thank you to everyone, and hopefully that we can move this board forward starting in September, and for everyone to have a great summer. Thank you.
You didn't take down that background.
Mike, we will move this. We will move forward. We will move forward.
Yep.
We will. Okay. I'm behind you 200%.
Yep.
Okay.
Ms. Chairwoman, it's all.
Good night.
You can close this out.
Hello.
Alexis, go first.
Can I
Is
say
Alexis
something, please?
still there?
Can I say something?
Is Alexis still there? The borough president's office?
Yes, she is.
Yeah. Also send a copy of that to Paul Stricker, which is send it to Robert.
Okay.
Thank you very much and have a blessed summer.
You too.
Anthony has something to say.
Hello. I just wanted to thank John Isaac for stepping up to the plate, like in this situation where we was all a little confused, but you did a great job, and everybody else that stepped up, thank you. I look forward to working with you guys in the summertime. Any action, I'll be around. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Everybody, have a great summer.
Great summer.
Okay, thank
you. And to Jiria for everything.
Jesus Christ. All right, bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.